Hello, summoners, and welcome to the semi-finals of the New Zealand qualifier for the Oceanic Collegiate Championship. Unfortunately, someone got kicked out of the lobby, so we're almost into the match. But once he's back in, should be no problem. Of course, the match that we've got for you is going to be HKC coming from Victorian University of Wellington, going up against VGN.GIGA from University of Auckland. They are playing for the opportunity to face off against Imperium from Otago in the finals. And those are my boys, so we better see a good match today to see who gets to face the best team right now. But in any case, it is going to be HKC going up against VGN.GIGA. We've seen a few games from both of these teams so far. Just recently, we actually saw VGN.GIGA take out HKAYCEE in a very, very convincing victory, I've got to say. But HKC, interestingly enough, in round 2 of the winners bracket, they kicked University of Auckland Hawks down to the losers bracket, and Hawks actually won the tournament over won the University of Auckland tournament over VGN.GIGA. So could be a bit of an even match here, a bit of a bloodbath, but we'll find out. My name is, of course, Smite, and I'm casting with Kibbles today. Say hello.
Yo, what's up, man?
What's up, indeed. All right, so this is, of course, going to be the second last matchup of today, being the semi-finals. Because as you guys know, the finals are going to be straight after this. It's going to be Imperium versus the winning team. But, of course, we're going to have to talk about this. Of course, all teams still left in the tournament, making it to the next stage of the OCC, basically the final stage of it, really, where it's down to 16 teams, and the top 2 teams from that do get to play in Sydney. Flights provided and everything. They get to play in Sydney at the Riot office. But enough about that. That's a few weeks away, because now we're into the semi-finals. HKC got an interesting matchup, of course. There's a few things that they could go for in regards to banning. Aurelia makes sense going up against the Robo Santa. That guy played a pretty terrifying Aurelia a few games ago, so no reason to not take that away from him.
I find it funny that I only just made this connection now, that the AD carry and the support's names are literally cow noise and dog noise. Yes, I know. How bad is that?
Come on, man.
Oh, God.
It's pretty obvious. But anyway, a lot going to be taken away from Jonty Wanty. If you remember a few games ago, this guy played Azir, so that is a champion that he can play. So it's going to be on the minds of VGN.GIGA. If they were paying attention to some of the other games, Alistair ban, absolutely zero surprise. If you saw the last game, Bark, pretty much the MVP in that game, and one of the best Alistair players in the Oceanic region right now. You know, there's EGM as well, but Bark probably almost up there. But Thresh getting banned out as well. Sykes did play that a few games ago as well, so no reason not to take that away from him. And Bark likes to play very different supports, right? So taking a very common pick away when he's probably not going to play it, very good choice there by VGN.GIGA. Now the last ban coming out for HKC, going to be Gragas, taking that away from Gaffer, who still has the Sejuani if he wants to play it.
Sejuani, I feel in the last game wasn't like outstanding, but still did relatively well. You know, in comparison. I'm hoping Jonty Wanty brings out Azir again. He did really well and was doing a ton of damage in the game that we saw him in.
Yeah, and it's actually going to be Sejuani being banned out instead. Of course, it's not working. I believe he played Gragas a few games ago. But they do go in first pick Nautilus, which is a bit interesting considering Hecarim has been left available, and VGN are going to jump right onto that. And also picking up Vi, one of the big comfort picks for Katha. What this means, though, is that it's going to be two champions that are more bruiser-like than heavy tank. Hecarim does get incredibly tanky, especially if he does go for the Cinderhulk Smite build up in the top lane, whereas Vi almost definitely is going to go for the Warrior enchant. But the fact that it was a first pick Nautilus, I'm not terribly sure on that, just because it is giving away the Hecarim.
Question is it going to be an arcade Hecarim or not?
It's going to be the party pony.
Well,
Absolute sure.
yeah, that's the ultimate important question here. We need to be asking about skins, not strategy.
So an interesting choice is coming up right now for HKC. Although they just lock in straight away, no fear. They are going for that Urgot. So that's a little bit interesting. I think they are going for a bit more of an early game build here, just because of that Urgot. Can transition fairly well into the late game, but depends on team comp. You know, if it's an 80 carry that's quite hard to deal with, champions that are just going to be unstoppable. You know, you can only see Vi and Hecarim right now, and those are champions that, you know, while you can use the Urgot ultimate on them, it's not going to do a huge amount, especially because during their ultimates they're obviously immune to it, and that's, you know, straight after that, that's when you want to get them. So it's, you know, it's potential to work, but I feel like, you know, leaving it open for VGN to just free pick whatever 80 carry they want against Urgot is a bit of a dangerous thing to go do, especially against an 80 carry like Mumu. If you saw him last game, he did fairly well on that Lucian, and now he has free pick of any 80 carry he wants against Urgot.
The Sivir pick against Urgot. Is Sivir particularly counter Urgot, do you think, or?
I wouldn't say Sivir counters Urgot, but Sivir also brings a huge amount of synergy with Hecarim, just because the big movement speed buff coming out from On the Hunt. So generally when you see a Hecarim, you're going to see a Sivir paired up with it, and that's exactly what we're going to see here. We also saw a lot of it during the wildcard tournament. The Chiefs picked up that composition a lot. In fact, won most of their games until they started getting that composition banned out against them. So VGN have a very strong composition as well, especially when you factor in the Orianna as well. Throw the ball on Hecarim. He's got an easy engage with all the movement speed, and you know, obviously his ultimate. He gets in there, follow that up with a brilliant shockwave, and then there you go. There's a easy team fight right there. Failing that, you've got Vi, who can target the ball onto anyone pretty much. Just click them with your ultimate, and there you go. And there's going to be the last two lock-ins as well over on HKC. It's going to be Rek'Sai and Ahri. And Rek'Sai's a jungler that can kind of go either way. You can go for the Bruiser heavy build where you pick up the Warrior enchant. We can go for the very tanky Cinderhulk-like build. So we'll see what It's Not Working goes for to counteract the Kafir on Vi, but there's also going to be an Ahri.
Ahri. We've seen a couple of nice Ahris in the last few games. I like it. Rek'Sai is the first time we've seen him in this particular tournament. Or her, rather. Sorry. Oh my gosh, I'm so sexist. So yeah, that'll be interesting. I do like Leona. Such a good pick. She's, in my personal opinion, well, in bronze anyway, she's such a strong support.
Picking it into a Morgana, though, not the greatest choice, I'd have to say. But I mean, you know, I do have faith in Barkbug. He's going to be able to pull something off. But it's going to be a rough lane against that Morgana, because pretty much everything that Leona wants to do completely nullified by Black Shield. So it's going to be rough going against that lane, like I just said. But maybe perhaps they're going for a lane swap, because, you know, you don't particularly want to go against an Urgot, as, you know, most 80 carries, of course, because he does still make your laning phase not that fun. And we're actually going to see both top laners going for the Smite build, which is pretty cool. But the reason I want to see a lane swap coming out from VGN is because they can get two birds with one stone, right? They can get away from the Urgot, not deal with it, not deal with the Morgana ruining any kind of Leona engage, and at the same time, they can leave Hecarim in the 1v2 lane, but with Smite, he's going to be able to dip into the jungle, go grab that Gromp, go grab the Wolves, and not fall too far behind in farm. And at the same time as well, it also frees up Bark to go roaming on the Leona in places where there's not going to be a Morgana. So I would not be surprised to see a lane swap here, especially now that we're getting later on into the series where some of the best teams are starting to emerge, and lane swaps really become an actual option.
Lane-wise, who's taking it?
Well, I mean, it does come down to whether there is a lane swap, but I mean, mid lane. We'll have a look. Orianna versus Ahri can be pretty much a skill matchup right there. It's just all about who gets the right amount of harass out. Both of them have equal amounts of opportunities to deal the harass to each other. Ahri, it's a little bit more on the aiming, I suppose. It's a little bit easier to get the harass down from Orianna, especially if you go in and you see the charms being missed. Charms down, you can get in there, get a whole lot of free harass. However, with the heal rather than ignite on Liberty, I feel like he's going for more of a survive the lane sort of style of play, where as long as he gets to the late game, look at the team fighting power from their team, they should be fine. As long as he doesn't let Ahri roam, doesn't let Ahri get out of control, and so he's not going to be going for too much of a I'm trying to kill Ahri, just control the lane. So I feel like that's probably going to go into Liberty's favor, just because that's probably the easier plan to do. But if Jonty gets even one kill or even a slight lead, he'll be able to start snowballing things out of control. So a bit of a long story in the mid lane there, but I feel like it really could go either way.
It could, but realistically, who are you gunning for? Who's your bias?
Liberty. I mean, VGN have proven more to me so far in the tournament. Perhaps because maybe we've covered more games for them, but they're definitely looking like I said this from the start. One of the fan favorites coming into the tournament. Just the favorites in general. They're one of the teams that's looking like they're likely to take out the win, but HKC at the same time, they've definitely proven a lot. They've taken out a lot of important teams, and not to mention, one of those teams that they took out were the Hawks, who originally beat VGN in the University of Auckland tournament. So it's not like HKC aren't able to win this, but I feel like so far in this specific tournament that VGN have proved more to us why they should win. But at the same time, I don't feel like that's a big enough sample size, so I can't really make a good call on it, but if I had to, it would be Liberty, just because he's got the easier job to do.
Right, fair enough. So we are just about ready to head into this game. The double smite thing, is that just a high tier thing, or am I missing something here?
Well, ever since Cinderhawk came out, top laners have started to realize, hey, I can just play a tank in the top lane. As long as I can survive the lane until I get my Cinderhawk going, then it doesn't matter that I've got Smite. I might miss out on Flash, but then you play champions that don't really need Flash, right? Like Hecarim. The Nautilus is something new that I'm seeing on this, but he does have escape potential with the Dredge line. He's fairly tanky with his shields, can slow anyone trying to chase him, so it's not as bad not having Flash on him, but it's still going to be probably a bit of a rough lane for him up there. But yeah, no, the Smite being taken in top lane is so that you can become ridiculously tanky, because of course you can't buy Cinderhulk unless you've got Smite. It just doesn't let you buy the item. And at the same time, you can always dip back, pick up the Gromp buff. Unfortunately, only Plastic's going to be able to do that if he's on the blue side in the top lane. But if there is a lane swap, then Robo Santa will be able to pick that up as well. So you get things like that, combine it with like Thornmail, even if there's a threatening AD carry. Not really in this case, but the Gromp buff, ever since it started scaling with your bonus HP, really, really hurts. So having another champion that has access to that buff is actually just added bonus onto the fact that you can get Cinderhulk if you take Smite in the top lane.
I'm starting to, like, every time we get into a game, it's like, yes, we're getting into the game, and then it's like, nope, not for another 2 minutes, mate.
It's generally because some people have slower PCs, I think, and they want to have a fair start, right? Like, even though you've got the gate there, you don't want to be like even a second behind, because as we saw a few games ago, if I believe it was Sykes on Thresh, if he didn't make it into that Tribush in time, he totally would have died. So making sure that everyone's loaded in or ready to go, pauses make sense. But as we can see, both teams going a bit for a fan-out defense once again. no, I mean, this match isn't as important as the match we just cast, whereas, both teams know that they're moving on to the next stage, but they want to go for that better seeding. They also want to prove that they're one of the better university teams in New Zealand. So it is still getting a little bit more nerve-wracking as we move further on. I mean, we've passed a big high point, but it's still going up. So both teams playing it out pretty safely. Only a few wards past the river.
There's not really much aggressive warding going on here. What's the deal with the whole Gamestah and Golem start? Like, what's with that? Why don't? Because even as a jungler now, I still start blue buff.
Right. Well, I mean, the reason is just because you do a 3-camp start, right? So you do the Gromp, you smite it, you get the buff from that, and then you move on to your big buff. You can take it without smite, and then you just move on straight onto your next big buff and take it out with smite. Most champions can do that, some of them can't, but that's generally why you do it, and that's why you'll see it happening here. Alright, and so it does look like we do actually have a lane swap here. I'm not sure if it's some mind games coming out, or maybe perhaps HKC wanting to completely zone out Robo Santa on that Hecarim, but the lane swap has happened, and it's actually caught VGN as a whole by surprise. So what it means is that Robo Santa can't follow his jungler around, and you can see him, he's already moving over to the Krugs there just to pick that up, but Sykes actually playing it out very, very cleverly, following him along, making sure he can't do it without getting punished for it. So, unfortunately, Robo Santa being completely forced out of lane, forced to go down to the Raptors.
Yeah, this is unfortunate, but, I mean, how do you feel about the lane swap going on?
I feel like it was played out very well by HKC, just because they caught VGN by surprise. Robo Santa going to be fairly behind him. I mean, he picks up the camp, but he's missed almost an entire wave of experience. If the lane gets frozen, then he's going to be even further behind. And you can see Plastic, he's handling it really well. He was already in position to take out the Krugs and teleport straight into lane. So they definitely came out on top, despite, the CS looks different, but, that's 2 Krugs for 4 Raptors, so it's still pretty even.
I still call them golems. How bad am I?
That's alright, I think quite a few people do. They're still pretty much golems. And Barkbuck, oh, that is just rude. Come on, man. But in any case, he's going to pick up a nice amount of at least experience down there. Same thing with the Robo Santa. So, I mean, in the end, both top laners not going to be too behind for it. It is going to maybe open up the map on the bottom side a little bit more towards VGN, which will give them some more dragon control. Both of these top laners, they're not going to be able to be dived underneath the turret. They're just far too tanky, and they both have crystalline flasks, so the sustain's going pretty well. They'll be alright. So there's no huge advantage to either side right now, as Robo Santa, he's recovered from what happened.
Yeah. So some people may be confused by, well, I'm not, because I saw this plenty of times in Season 3. But what exactly for our potential Season 5 newbies is the purpose of having a 2v1 lane? Like, this seems very anti-meta to people who don't know what's going on.
Well, I mean, the purpose, I think, coming out from HKC would have been to, one, zone Robo Santa on that Hecarim and make sure he doesn't get going, because Hecarim can be a pretty massive snowballing champion if he gets going, right? But another thing that came out from it was just the surprise factor, They knew that VGN hadn't got any wards really past their river, so they decided to actually just go for a surprise lane swap because they wouldn't see it coming. And unfortunately, as a result of this, like I said, the dragon side of the map completely in control of VGN. So Gaffer is just able to solo the dragon, no problem.
Wow, that's amazing. Robo Santa actually getting caught by Morgana's snare here, but he will get out quite easily. Neither top or bottom turret has fallen yet, but here comes Vi coming in for the Gankaroonie tower dive. First blood going for Sivir. Quite a long first blood. Whoa! I actually expected him to die, not gonna lie. Not gonna lie.
Yeah,
Lives
once again,
on 10 HP.
calculated by Kappa once again. Good job. But yeah, no, not catching Robo Santa in the top side of the map. Pretty upsetting for them, especially after they just had their own top laner dived. You know, it was an excellent move. They knew exactly where most of the enemy team were, so they knew nothing surprising was going to happen after they just saw Rek'Sai on the opposite side of the map. So they knew they had the tools to deal with it. And obviously it paid off. Civ was able to go back, grab a BF sword, which is going to make the wave clear just absolutely ridiculous. And while Nautilus, his wave clear is pretty decent, will be able to defend the turret for a while, you should be losing out on a lot of CS.
Yeah, he's probably not the best to be CSing under turret, even if you are good at it. But yeah. Actually, interesting enough, we're going for the lane swap back. I wonder if part of the purpose was to get Leona going, because we all know Leona is practically useless pre-3, perhaps, pre-level 4.
Yeah, but at the same time, now that the wave clear's there, the BF sword advantage, they've got so many tools to deal with Urgot and Morgana, it's not going to be a disadvantage in lane at all anymore. Mumu having the spell shield to deal with any kind of dark bindings. However, we see it's not working. He's paying a bit of attention up to the top lane. There aren't any wards around. Oh no, there's a ward over the wall there, and it's spotted out it's not working. So unfortunately, he's not going to find anything there. Gaffer, showing up in the mid lane though, is going to be able to find something. Waiting patiently. Yeah.
He is waiting incredibly patiently. I'm waiting for something to happen, but
it's a stakeout because he's in the office of icing.
Ouch.
Oh no, in the top lane.
Oh no, there's the... Whoa. Actually, Rek'Sai. What?
So if for some reason you didn't quite catch that one there,
yeah,
it was actually the Urgot ultimate. Basically catching an unaware Mumu, going to bring things a little bit more even. We're only 200 gold different here, so no huge advantages. Of course, the early dragon pickup actually by VGN will give them a nice lead on into the late game, where their team composition is just huge in the late game. While none of the champions are specifically late game champions, just the engage power, the team fight power, and you know, the safety of it too, makes it such a great late game composition. So while not individually, as a team, it's amazing. So having that dragon just nice and early on will leave them a little bit comfortable in knowing that, you know, they won't have to worry about getting it later on. Ari looking like he's going for that Morellonomicon, going for the more aggressive build rather than the Athene's Unholy Grail, just like Liberty is going for. And you know, that makes sense into their playstyles. You can see with Liberty going for the heal, you know, it suggested that he wasn't really looking for kills in the mid lane, looking to just survive, make it to the late game, and then take out the team fight victories. Whereas Jonty Wanty really needs to start to get going in the mid lane, or at least get a nice advantage in wave clear, so that he can start roaming, affecting other sides of the map. So definitely does need a more aggressive option, but at the same time, being a champion with so many escapes, will be able to not really need to rely on any kind of defensive stats that you know, the Athene's Unholy Grail provides.
Leona engaging on Duke, but Morgana's spell shield does counteract the stun. Duke is dealing a lot of damage to get stunned by Leona's ult. Beautiful ult. Duke having to flash away a heal, and there's the ultimate coming up from Urgot, and nothing really doing there. Oh, Mumu, you're doing so much damage, mate.
Yeah, and that's the advantages of picking up an early BF sword, best friend's sword for that guy up there. You can see already that you know, it's not working. He was heading up to the top lane, but Plastic in a lot of trouble underneath this in this bottom lane now, I guess. And maybe that's showing why perhaps they were going for the lane swap. Did not want that Nautilus vs Hecarim matchup at all.
Do you think at this point Rek'Sai is just playing in his tent right there?
Yeah, it seems like it.
There it is! Well done. Well played by Mumu. Unfortunately, he has no mana left, so he is probably going to go down. I can say, oh, Ari! coming up from the bottom side. I didn't actually see that myself.
Yeah, and you can see VGN trying to take some kind of advantage from this in the mid lane. They will get the tower down, and they do have the ultimate combo there, the Assault and Battery along with the Shockwave. They're going to be able to get out of trouble? Yes, they are.
Yeah, there's the Shockwave from Orianna coming out and will pick up the kill on Rek'Sai. Bad positioning, I feel. They didn't really have the damage to back up Rek'Sai's engage.
No, not quite. And 2 seconds until Dragon comes up. It's going to be pretty much freely handed on a silver platter over to VGN, who, once again, looking nice and solidly in the driver's seat here. They've got advantages all across the map right now. Slight leads in CS, and, gosh, even the... it looks even between the AD carries, but then you've got to consider that Bark has got that Relic Shield, and 21 CS actually, so... perhaps handing most of that over to Mumu, so actually massive leads all over the map in terms of CS. And now with a 2-dragon advantage on a team that's looking to make it into the late game, pretty terrible.
Battle of the Wards.
Kaffa gets wrecked in that fight.
He does, absolutely. 1 for 1 plus 1.
It just looked kind of rude, you know, like Kaffa thinking like, yes. Finally took that pesky ward, managed to do it before Morgana takes him out. Ward plopped down, just takes it out anyway. But, like I said before, a nice solid lead going over to VGN right now, and in fact, even an engage in the top lane.
Spellshirt blocks the snare, so Mumu can escape, but that's her ulti burned as well.
Yeah, so a lot of tools actually used. Bark getting pretty aggressive, and there's the example of, you know, Black Shield fully blocking everything out by a Leona. I feel like Bark is just trying to make plays here, and he's really paying for it.
Yeah, he is, but it's going to get turned around because Hecarim is teleported in. So is Nautilus, actually. He's here. Well, it's a 3v3, but Mumu's hanging back. There's a beautiful ult away from Leona's ultimate there. Fire's joined the fray as well. Bark laughing away there. And the anticlimactic flash. I love it.
Yeah, little unfortunate. Wasn't able to connect the stun on there. Now we can see that Robo Santa, he's managed to pick up a Cinder Hulk, which is pretty massive. And Nautilus should be picking it up as soon as he recalls to base as well. So those guys are going to start getting tanky. In fact, Cinder Hulk's all across the map. It's not working, opting to go for the tankier version of that champion. And Urgot, this is the stage where he starts to you know, falling behind. He's lost the advantage that you get from being an Urgot in lane. It's not really going to... He's not going to be able to bully anyone fully out of lane. Yes, his ultimate's still there. Yes, it's still a good tool, but they're potentially just lacking a nice, consistent physical damage dealer. Yeah, like a ranged one, because the Rek'Sai's there, but melee. Can't even beat the red buff, though.
Rek'Sai's so low. I'm waiting for a game where we see a jungler die to their buff.
oh no, Wongza already did that in the Otago tournament. So if you're watching that, Wongza, or anyone on this team, remember that. It happens. Actually died to Krugs, not even a buff. But yeah, so now that we haven't seen a full combo coming out from Kaffa and Liberty, but it's so powerful. In the bottom lane though, Black Shield, gonna keep them safe. The turret does go down. Kaffa, he's spending most of his time farming, but also getting a lot of vision control. And you can already see, you know, 20 CS ahead of It's Not Working. Mainly because It's Not Working has spent a lot of time trying to make something happen in the top lane a while ago. Wasn't able to find anything, and so just wasn't able to farm. There's now Kaffa in a bit of a lead here, but in the bottom lane.
Bark getting caught out here by Rek'Sai and 2 others. And Mumu trying to do as much damage as he can. Robo getting caught by a dredge line, just randomly. My director's camera got pulled up there. I love it when that happens. But yeah, nothing really doing from that, just a kill on Leona.
Yeah, indeedy. So.
And they burnt so much to get it too. Like, there's how much is too much to burn when you're trying to kill a support, you know?
I think at this stage, it's definitely in favor of here comes the top lane.
Getting done. Kaffa dropping in under the turret. Plastic going for Robo Santa. No, he can't combat that. Mumu getting exhausted actually by Sykes is gonna go very low. And Urgot takes the kill on server. Sorry, bro. Almost.
That's alright. I think he's allowed to take out the kill. But yeah, no, you're talking about, how much is too much. At this stage, it's definitely in favor of HKC to go for desperation plays. And maybe, try and find things that perhaps aren't quite as worth it as you'd normally think. Using lots of ultimates on just a single player, maybe even the support, and then backing out, making sure you're safe, and waiting for it to happen again, because they're still behind in terms of gold, towers, dragons, absolutely everything right now. So they're really struggling to find something to come back from. Jonty Wanty is not going to be able to get snowballing right now. He's even in farm, but hasn't been able to affect the rest of the map due to roaming. So Liberty's done a great job in what I said at the start of the match, which was just controlling the Ahri in the mid lane, and he's done exactly that. Hasn't let Ahri roam around the map to affect everything else.
Yeah, Ahri. Sorry, I'm getting distracted by this Leona who's just running around by the dragon pit. Do something! Stop just fighting. I feel like Barkbuck's just taking the piss. Why do you think that is?
Barkbuck's a funny guy. Actually got to meet him up in Auckland at Digital Nations. Pretty awesome guy. So does like to enjoy the game when you play it out. Yeah, a lot of these tournaments can be serious, and there can be a lot on the line. But in the end, it is a game. You wouldn't be playing in these tournaments if you didn't actually enjoy the game. So gotta hand it to Barkbuck for trying to enjoy the game while still playing a very serious match. And now VGN, they're considering doing the dragon anyway, despite the Scuttle Crab being here. They do have their teleport up for their top laner in a few seconds, so they will be able to bring him down.
The dragon jump, Leona's ult comes in, Vi's ult comes down as well, getting Leona snared by Morgana, sorry. All of these names and stuff. Hecarim coming around from the side, killing Sykes. Charm just missing by the skin of her teeth. Mumu will get taken down, and strange Orianna ultimate there. But all in all, pretty nice. A 1 for 4. That's a decent trade-off.
Yeah, and the fact that they get to pick up Dragon on top of that, they're really starting to get things really underway here. Especially considering the fact that Kaffa took that Dragon at 5 minutes into the game. So they're already at 3 stacks, and we're barely at 19 minutes right now. So if there's going to be a 5-stack win condition, it's not actually going to be that far away, because it's going to happen at 30 minutes into the game. 30-minute 5-stack Dragon is just terrifying right now. So things are really starting to snowball a bit out of control here in favor of VGN, especially considering their composition. The Hecarim that's getting rolling, he's 4 for 0, and he's going to start moving towards that Trinity Force. It's going to be a bit later than you'd normally see on a Hecarim, but that's just because he's got the Cinderhulk first. But once that Trinity Force comes out, I think it's going to be almost all over for HKC, just because they don't really have much to deal with the Hecarim.
Hecarim's doing okay though. Realistically. 40 seconds on Baron. Do you think they're gonna do the dance or no?
No one takes Baron at 20 minutes when it spawns, so it's quite alright.
You never know.
You never know, but I can make a very good, educated, clever guess right now that they're not actually going to go for it.
Yeah.
So the options at HKC here are slowly dwindling away. Usually when you see a team that's quite far behind, you generally expect them to go for a turtle, try and stay safe. Oh no, but Jonty Wanty in trouble here against Barkbuck. Just disappears. And not even a chance to use that Spirit Rush to get out of trouble. And, like I said, it's just because of the snowball. Now the fact that VGN are able to move into the enemy jungle, get a whole lot of vision control, and deny the enemy vision, and allow them to get the cheesy kills like that.
Serious shit. Sorry for the swearing, but Sykes, you are going down. My word, when Hecarim comes running at you with that kind of speed, yeah, it's trouble. It's not working. It's going to get stunned by Leona twice. with the Zenith Blade and the other one, I forget. My apologies. Mumu is trying to do as much damage to Plastic as she can. A flash over the wall, Bark. You're a strange man.
Bark is probably my favorite player in this tournament right now. Just so entertaining to watch everything he plays. But this is just a huge lead for VGN right now. They're so far ahead. 7,000 gold. Towers all across the map have been ripped down.
Oh,
Mumu,
wow, Mumu.
I think he's in trouble. It's hard to tell against VGN.
He totally was in trouble there, but he didn't make the ultimate mistake of shopping while recalling. And that's what could have potentially saved him right there. Potentially. I mean, Ari whiffed her charm. What's to say that she wouldn't have whiffed her Q as well? High possibility.
Yeah, that's always, the potential's always there. So now we see VGN coming in to try and defend this turret. In fact, the very first turret that might go down, in fact 0 turrets have gone down against VGN. And that's not going to change right now, as, you know, the team's already made it back. They've got plenty of wave clear, they've got plenty of team fight potential. And HKC have always got to have in the back of their minds, VGN can engage pretty much anytime they want. With the On the Hunt combined with the Hecarim engage, you follow that up with the Kafir engage, and then Shockwave to follow it all up. And it's just a monstrous team fight, and it's so easy to do just because you've got On the Hunt to get in range of it. They are splitting up though, and are looking for something else. Clearing out wards, absolutely a good choice. Don't want any sneaky desperation barons to come out, but Duke,
you're in trouble here.
How are you going to get out of this one, buddy?
Yeah, he's not going to be able to. That ultimate coming out, unfortunately, unless he has a flash. Flash over the wall. No, nothing there.
Flash back into the base. No, doesn't quite happen. And now the pings go out to the Baron. So, you know, say 20-minute Barons don't happen too often. 22.5-minute Barons when the enemy AD carry is dead, though. They're a different story. And not to mention, now that everyone's taking Smite, it's very easy to have someone nearby to secure the buff. However, the pings went out, but they didn't quite go for it. Just once again, securing the vision so well. It's so hard for them to get any vision, and as I say that, they just walk in and ward everything up. But denying so much vision as well. HKC, going a bit... Oh my god, Bark. So mean.
I like Bark's playstyle on Leona. It's so cheeky. Lots of laughs coming out. Lots of oh, Keffa getting snared.
Yep, here comes the engage.
It's gonna miss the big light thing. Oh, shit. This is so bad. Robo Santa and Keffa and Co are trying to kill Jonty Wanty. Jonty Wanty? That's right. Yeah. That's unfortunate. Bye-bye, Nautilus. So now that they have no tank, what are they going to do?
Well, they literally have to sit behind their inhibitor, get a chair out, get some popcorn, and watch VGN rip their base apart. They're at least going to get this inhibitor here. 20 seconds. Oh no, Duke gets caught out.
Whoa! That was like the closest charm I've seen in my life. Hecarim, you are the luckiest man alive, but still gets taken down by Rek'Sai anyway. Snare comes onto Bark. Sivir doing as much damage as she can, but Mumu, getting... What? How did that not... Was that a spell shield on Rek'Sai's, shooty thingy?
Potentially.
Oh my gosh, Mumu! These guys are going so strong. Wow, okay. The damage from Mumu is incredible.
And once again, you see Kaffa just taking out the dragon. Does he have the health to do it? Of course, with his passive shield, should be fine, but... Uh-oh, been spotted out here, but Mumu's nearby to help him out. Where is he?
That was anticlimactic, my god. I was holding my breath. Dragon there, goes down to Mumu's team. Sykes getting partly caught. No, Sykes will go down. Sorry, Plastic is caught up against a Mumu. Mumu. Plastic, please run. You're in so much trouble. Rek'Sai's ultimate is coming in, but he's behind the wall in the river. You can do it. Go in. Come on. Aww.
Not quite going to happen.
No.
Now, it looks like it's going to be HKC on the retreat.
Oh, nice Orianna ultimate healing for the rest of the team. No, that was a bad fight. I feel that could have gone in the favor of blue.
And now this is going to be an open Baron over to VGN. They're a little bit low, but they've got the Hecarim to start tanking things up. They should be fine in the ability to take it out. There is an open inhibitor as well, so things are looking pretty good. They are 11,000 gold ahead. We're only 25 minutes in. 4 dragons as well. Once that next dragon's up, it's going to be pretty massive for VGN to get.
Sucks. Oh no. Do you feel that both teams are making such desperate plays that it's going to change the game and make it ridiculously unpredictable? Kappa going in with the ultimate. Jonty, please ult away. There's nothing you can do. Wow, sneaky, dinky. Very well done.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't say the VGN plays are desperate. I'd say they're trying to play to the crowd, trying to have a little bit of fun because they know they're so ahead. You know, it especially shows for Buck, and oh no, wow, surrender vote failed for poor old HKC there. Probably shouldn't tell you guys that. No, let's just pretend that they're all on board, but maybe the morale's dropping a little bit. But it's kind of no surprise, you know, 13,000 gold ahead. The enemy team has 4 dragons. They've got Baron buff. They've got one of the best team fighting compositions in the game right now. All they need to do, you know, split push a little bit, and that should be almost impossible to lose. Leave Robo Santa in the bottom lane, let him pressure down that turret, and then if your team's able to, flank around to get him. But it looks like they're just going to go in anyway.
It's a bit of a dance around this turret though. There's Kaffa actually going very strongly, but Orianna doing so much damage actually to one of the frontline tanks, you know. If Orianna does that much damage to a tank, what's she gonna do to the likes of, I don't know, Sykes? Oh, nice snare, but it's got, the ball delivery system. Bye-bye, Keffa. Bye-bye. Jonty? Jonty die. Jonty not die. Robo Santa is gonna die instead. Sorry about it. My apologies. It wasn't Keffa that died, it was... This fight is so long, I don't like it. Just end the fight. Charm connecting onto Mumu. Vi's ultimate coming onto Jonty. I can't believe she saved it for that long, actually. Liberty! Whoa, what the hell killed him? I missed that. I totally
VGN.
missed what killed him.
They have an open inhibitor. In fact, they've got 2 of them. Do they have the HP to deal with a 2v3 right now? Surely they might. They do go in. Another red turret has been destroyed, but this inhibitor's going to go down. Do they want to stay and take the other one? Probably not, and they're going to get out of here. 15,000 gold lead.
Position. That's a good position for them to be in. Sorry, gold lead?
It's a 15,000 gold lead. Things are just absolutely in VGN's control for a long time. Buck trying to make the Dark Binding hit his teammate there. No surprises from this guy. But I mean, you look at some of the items advantages that they've got on the team right now, and just the differences between the roles. You look at what Mumu's got. He's got an Infinity Edge, he's got a Static Shield, he's got all the core items he needs to do exactly what he wants to do. Whereas you've got Duke. He's got a Black Cleaver, started to build tanky with the Frozen Heart, does need the mana as an Urgot, putting out the damage that HKC need right now, so that's putting a lot of the pressure onto Jonty. Essentially has to do most of the damage, and while it's a safe champion to do so on, he's been the target of focus fairly often if they're able to catch him, but might see a fight pretty soon as everyone seems to be split up all over the place, but the first one to go down is going to be this inhibitor.
Yeah, that's 2 inhibitors down. They're in such a lead. I'm surprised they haven't closed it out before now. I guess, like you said before, they are just trying to have a bit of fun.
At the same time, they want to be a bit safe, but here they go in. Bark, not quite connecting, but Mumu. Oh, wow.
Delivery system, yummy, says Keffa. I'll take that. Keffa just standing under the turret. Why the hell not? Jonty getting dropped so quickly, so squishy. Bark going in on Plastic, of course, because there's no Morgana, so this is pretty much free game. It's not working. Come on, dive for it. No, Mumu.
In any case, though, there's pretty much no one left to defend this Nexus against VGN, and it looks like HKC is going to take the third place, the bronze medal, as VGN.GIGA are going to be elevated up to the winners bracket, and we're going to have a repeat of round 1, VGN versus Imperium. So don't go anywhere, guys. We'll be back fairly shortly with the grand final, and it's going to be a big one. It's going to decide who's got the best university team in New Zealand. Don't go anywhere, guys. We'll be right back.